Happy Friday, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the Sharp Action Report. Today we are talking about UFC 289, Amanda Nunes taking on Irene Aldana. And as always, I am joined by my guy, Andrew, who is the risk supervisor over at Superbook Sports, to talk about some notable sharp action, some public lines, all that good stuff, give you guys the info to hopefully make a few better bets for tomorrow. Andrew, how you doing today, my guy?
It's been awesome, man. I mean, the sports going on right now have been tremendous. The NBA Finals is a fun one. Got tennis going on. We got a pay-per-view card this weekend, which I'll say, from a betting perspective, hasn't been the most intriguing, or from a fan perspective, but from a betting perspective, there's a lot of fun matchups to bet. So it should be a fun card, even though there's not the biggest names on it.
I couldn't agree more, man. I really think that this is a gambler's delight type of card. I think there's a lot of spots that we're getting two-way tug of wars on Twitter on these fights, and people have opinions on spots. Like, this is going to be a fun one from a betting perspective. Maybe not worth the the $75 for the pay-per-view these days, but for the gambling, I think we like this one.
Yeah, I would agree with that for sure.
All right, good stuff. Y'all know the deal. Give my guy Andrew a follow on Twitter if you're not already. Make sure you smash the like button here on Pub Sports Radio and subscribe if you have not. We're going to go over every fight on the card here. Less of a breakdown show, more of a betting and line type of action show. First up, we've got Diana Belbita taking on Maria Oliveira, and there's been some interesting back and forth on this one, man. I believe Maria Oliveira was a minus 135 favorite on Monday. Now, as of this moment on Superbook Sports, at least on the Arizona side of things, I know sometimes we've got different lines, Arizona to Nevada. I've got Diana Belbita, the minus 115 favorite. What have you seen on this fight, and anything that really made that swap from dog to favorite?
Yeah, this is an interesting one because it's obviously the lowest fight on the card, but surprisingly, from a betting standpoint, this has been one of our highest handled fights so far this week, which is like very surprising. So we opened this one a pick at the book, and it, like you said, it started steaming Oliveira's way. We about 130, 135, we started getting a lot of bad stuff. I guess a lot of people have a strong opinion on the other side that this thing really should be honestly really good money both ways on this fight. But our sharpest bet on this fight is on Oliveira, and it was earlier this week. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. So I have been leaning towards the Belbita side basically all week. I was definitely tempted there when she was an underdog. Now that it's flipped over to her being the favorite, especially with the sharp action notice on the Maria Oliveira side, man, I'm probably just going to pass on this fight. I think it'll be a gunfight. Should be fun to watch. But I think it legitimately is a pick'em. So it kind of makes sense to me if people are snapping up dog money on either side of the line.
Yeah, I mean, it feels good when you set a line at a pick or any line, and it comes back. It went one way, and then now it's back where we opened it. So I mean, like, it's funny how sometimes it comes full circle.
For sure. All right. Sharp action on the very first fight of the night, everybody. Next up, David Dvorak taking on short notice replacement Steve Erceg. And Steve has been maybe the most public underdog of the entire week. It's just been everybody taking stabs at this guy. He opened up as a huge plus money underdog overseas. The first lines that people had access to, I was seeing plus 350s and things like that. He sits plus 225 right now on Superbook. What have you seen on this one?
Yeah, so this is one where when we opened it up, it was not that price. It was at a 270. We're currently sitting 280 here in Nevada. Like you said, we have been getting a lot of action on the dog, which is interesting. It moved the line early, like you said, overseas, but for us, it's pretty much where we opened it. So it hasn't drastically changed it, but as of now, we definitely could use the favorite. And there wasn't much on the total on this fight either. But yeah, the book is looking for the favorite in this one as of now.
Interesting. Okay. That definitely makes sense to me. And I'll be honest with you, I was very tempted on Erceg when he was up over that 300 plus money mark. Now that he's down in the 2-to-1 range, I'm not, I'm leaning kind of favored or passing this spot. I don't think I'm gonna bet it, man, but I think Dvorak probably can squeeze by this guy on short notice. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, it should be a fun fight.
It'll be fun, that's for sure. All right, speaking of fun, Blake Bilder taking on Kyle Nelson, and I'm pretty heavily invested on the Blake Bilder side here on this one, man. It worries me just a little bit because everybody seems to agree with me, and
Yeah.
I hate that. That makes me so nervous when everybody is agreeing with me on one of these short favorites like this here. What do you guys see on your side of things?
Yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right about this one. We opened this one at 180. It's currently sitting 250, and um, there hasn't been any resistance really. Like usually when you move the line, you can start to get some action on people who are looking into numbers a lot. But yeah, this is a fight where we haven't gotten much resistance, and it seems like uh, we're going to need the dog no matter how much we move this one. But yeah, that's where we're sitting right now.
Okay. I'm very, very nervous, man. Everything I've done, my research, my tape study, all of it tells me that Blake Bilder should win this fight. But I'm just not used to getting this much agreement. Hopefully, I haven't found the bed shitter of the week because I've got a tendency to do that. Shout out
Let's
to
say
our guy Mikolaj here in the chat with the €5 donation, I believe. Thank you very much for the dono. He says, come on, Charlie, buy me some olives. We got a dog hunter here in the chat. Thank you very much for supporting the show. Were you about to say something, Andrew?
Yeah, I was going to say that outcome would be very good for the book if this one was one that shit the bed. I mean, this would be a great for the book.
I like to, be kind of lined up with you guys to some extent. Not this one, man. I need this one. Next up, Eamon Zahabi takes on Liang. And this is another one of those tug of war pick'em type of spots. And I'm confused on it, man. Right now, it looks like we've got Zahabi as a minus 105 underdog. Have you guys seen anything notable on this one? Because I couldn't make heads or tails of it. I think I leaned towards Liang, but Zahabi being at home with that big last name in Canada, like, I don't know if I can bet against him if it's going to be a tight fight.
Yeah, so we opened this one at 30 on Liang, and it's sitting 20 currently. There really hasn't been too much action on it, but I know one of the guys who I really respect in the back. He's a Mongolian murder fan, so he thinks he's gonna take care of business. That's pretty much all I have for the fight. Really, from a betting perspective, what I've seen is nothing crazy on this one. Really, no movement and not too much action.
I hear you.
Action both ways.
Action both ways is never a bad thing. We can move right along. Jasudavicius, Jasmine taking on Miranda Maverick, and this one is a little crazy to me here because Miranda Maverick is kind of always the big chalky fan favorite. Everybody just wants to pile in on her, and myself included. I've heard some people with some takes that Jazz might be live in this spot. I'm curious if you guys have seen anybody sharp move in on either side here on this one.
Yeah, so this one's a fun one as well. So we opened this one up at 290, and it was pretty much steaming up. We got all the way up to 330. And then one of our more respected UFC bettors did come in and take a shot on Jasmine. So, yeah, one of our sharpest bettors in UFC is on Jasmine in this spot at plus 255 is what the price he got.
Okay. Yeah, I kind of expected this number to get wider, if I'm being honest. I thought the parlay money would come in on Maverick, and maybe I'd get like...
Yeah, it was going that way, though. It was steaming that way. It got up to 330, and then there started to finally be a little bit of respected resistance, and it's back down to almost where we opened it. So
that's where I was hoping to time it and jump in when it peaked on Jazz, but I missed my opportunity. So I wanted a little taste at a big plus number on her as well. But, at this point, I might just have to sit on the sidelines. We'll see what happens.
You never know, though, because tomorrow, with all the favorite money coming in, you still might be able to find a time to get a good price on the dog. Like, you know what I mean? It could steam back up a little bit. I wouldn't be that surprised.
Big pay-per-view card, public action, big favorite that everybody likes. You're right. Maybe we can get there.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. Imavov takes on my guy, Chris Curtis, coming up next. And you know me, man. It's dog or pass anytime Chris Curtis is involved. That's my guy. but you hate to see, well, not hate to see, you guys are tempting me. He's all the way up to plus 140. And this is a spot where I said, I know a lot of people out there just pick the winner, right? Just pick the winner. I look at the odds and I look at the value. I didn't want Curtis at even money. I don't want Curtis at plus 110. Plus 140, plus 150. We're getting into my ballpark over here, man. What did you see on this one? Because I might end up having to plug my nose and take the leap at some point.
Yeah, so this is one we opened up at 125 on Imavov, and it's there's been some respected action on that side, and it's definitely steaming the number up. I'm also a huge Chris Curtis fan. I'd love to see him win here, but from what the action has been saying, it's clearly moving the line from where it was almost a pick to now sitting at 60. So the respected action is on one side. I'm definitely with you though, rooting on the other side, and I hope he can take care of business.
I hear you. I'll be honest with you, man. I'm kind of surprised that this line didn't open higher. I would have assumed that Imavov would have opened a minus 170, minus 180 favorite.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think stylistically, this is a really fun matchup. I mean, I could see it being closer to a pick, but I also understand why there's steam in this direction. We also did take some bigger bets on the over in this fight. I wanted to let everybody know that one too.
Okay. Thank you for mentioning that. Right now, the over 2.5 sits at minus 160 if you're looking for that, but we did get some action there. Thank you for the update. The next fight I want to talk to you about, Eric Anders, Marc-Andre Barriault. I am invested rather heavily in the Andre Barriault side of things, and the line is moving against me, Andrew. I do not like to see that. What's coming in that I need to know about?
Yeah, so I mean, this is one like we talked about earlier. Early action, the line was moving in Barriault's direction, and then there was a couple of respected bets the other way when the number was moving up, and it brought it kind of back down to where we opened it. The book certainly needs Barriault in this spot. We have been getting some Anders bets, but I think the book is happy needing Barriault, and I personally, I think this is a good matchup for him, and I think he can take care of business if he weathers the storm for a little bit in the fight. And yeah, that's where the book is. We need Barriault.
Hey, I agree with you. I agree with you that Barriault's the side here, and I'm glad to hear that, if you guys kind of position yourself needing the guy that I think's going to win the fight and bet on, that's all thumbs up over here. I'm glad we're on the same side for that one. So let's go Marc-Andre, baby.
Definitely. Like I said, though, it always changes day of. You never know how these big favorite parlays are going to come in. But yeah, as of now, we certainly, this is one of those sides that we definitely need a lot.
I hear you. Okay. All right. Next up, Dan Ige takes on Nate Landwehr. This is another interesting spot where Nate the Train just kind of gets it done for people, right? Like when he comes in as an underdog, so far he cashes those big plus money tickets. He's plus 225 now. I have seen the line move a little bit more on Ige's side. He's my parlay anchor. Tell me some good news here. What do we see on this one?
Well, we opened this one at 210. If we're in 225 in our other states, I might have to go adjust that a little bit because we're sitting at 260 here in Nevada. The line has moved because we're just pretty much getting a ton of action on Ige, respected action. But at the same time, we're getting a lot of action on Nate from the public. So the line has moved, but we still need Ige. So that kind of tells you where we're at, like we're hoping Ige takes care of business because we know the public is all over Nate. And yeah, that's where we currently sit. Let me check where we sit. Sorry, on the total. And then, we did get hammered on the under a couple of times too.
Oh, good to know. All right. So the under took some action right now, sitting at 2.5. Looks like minus 115 to the under. And I'll be honest with you, man. I like that. I haven't played a total on this card yet, but I think the under in that fight makes just a ton of sense. Ige's got big power in his hands, and Nate tends to either break people or cause a car crash and go down himself. So I think a finish is very live in that fight.
Has Ige been finished before?
No, that is the one downside, is that I said it on my show, man. If you're counting on anybody to break Ige, maybe someone with the cardio and pace of Nate the Train is the guy, but no one's been able to do it yet. If Calvin Kattar couldn't do it, I'm not banking on Nate the Train to do it. So that's why I
Yeah.
parlayed up Ige on the money line instead.
Yeah, my initial thought was I liked the under here. But then like looking into it a little bit more, Dan Ige is tough. I just don't know if Nate's going to be able to get him out of there. I mean, I could see there's a chance that Dan Ige gets him out of there, but I think the book is in a good spot needing the over here.
I hear you. Oh, good stuff. All right, man. Next up, Mike Malott, Adam Fugitt. This one has me scratching my head just a little bit. I put money on Fugitt earlier this week. I was really surprised by the line move. I thought money was going to come in on Mike Malott, and I would get a bigger plus money number on Fugitt. I wanted the dog. It went against me. It ticked down a little bit, so I jumped in because it seems like it was moving the wrong way for me. And then, I know, again, we have different lines, Arizona to Nevada, but Fugitt dropped all the way down to plus 155 in Arizona, which that blew my hair back for a minute. I was like, wow, that was a big jump. However, it's back up to 175 as of today, so you got to think maybe some Malott money came in and balanced things out a bit. But very curious what you're seeing as far as the action goes on this one, because, again, I don't like it when people agree with me. I've seen too many people saying, yeah, Fugitt's live here. I was thinking I'd be on an island. I'm not. I got plenty of people in their swimsuits hanging out playing beach volleyball with me.
Yeah, this one's honestly very similar to the last fight. There's some respected money on the favorite, but then we've been getting a ton of action on the dogs. So, yeah, I mean, that's where we're sitting. The line has moved kind of ping-ponged all over the place. So I know you said you saw it at 55. I believe it's back up to about $2. I don't know what it's at in Arizona right now. I don't have that app up, but we're sitting 210 here in Nevada. But I mean, yeah, there's been a ton of movement. The book certainly needs the favorite in this fight and the Ige fight. So those two are very similar. But yeah, that can all change within moments.
Absolutely. All right. Interesting fight there. Now we got the main event and co-main event, folks. This is the Sharp Action Report. Andrew's been kind enough to give us some of his time over from Superbook Sports to give us all the info. Make sure you give them a follow, support them over there. Give us a like while you're at it, and we'll break down these final two fights here for you. Charles Oliveira taking on Beneil Dariush. And this line just keeps on getting wider. It's insane to me right now, Andrew. Like, I understand wanting to bet against Charles Oliveira, especially when you've got a guy that can wrestle. You've got a guy with power. Like, I thought Beneil Dariush was very enticing as a short underdog, but now we're talking about laying minus 155 on the guy, and it just keeps getting wider. I am floored that it's gone this far at this point. I'm starting to think we may have overcorrected a little bit, and I'm very tempted on Charlie O, especially if I can get up to plus 140 on the guy. What are you seeing as far as the respected action goes?
Yeah, so we opened this one at 120. We're currently sitting 150 here. Sometimes it's funny how it works because we did take sharp action early on Dariush, which started moving the line, but then all the public is also on Dariush, so that the line has kept widening, and we're not getting too much resistance on Oliveira. There's been some bets, but nothing overly respected. It's not usual that the sharps line up with the public, but in this fight, it has been that way, and I think that's why the line has kind of moved as much as it has, which I agree, it's pretty surprising. Like you said, at a pick, Dariush, I definitely would agree with, but when you're laying 50 or 60, you're starting talking about a whole different fight.
Yeah, different ball game when we're talking that extra plus money, man. This might be one of those ones where, I always talk about not needing to flip a coin, but when you're getting plus 135, plus 140 on a 50-50 coin flip, maybe you take the shot every once in a while. I might have to by Saturday.
Yeah, do you have any opinion on the total? It doesn't seem like we haven't taken too much action on our total on this one. It doesn't seem like the customers can figure that one out, really.
Yeah. I mean, I'm kind of thinking under, if I'm being honest here. Charles Oliveira, we know he gets dropped in almost every fight. He's hittable. He's got some chin concerns, and he's just the biggest finisher the UFC's got. He can finish anybody. And I think people forget that Benny is a little bit old, And he's also been finished multiple times in his career as well. He's got 3 knockout losses. He got submitted once. So even though he's on this legendary run right now, it's not like the guy hasn't been hurt before. So
Right.
I think both guys definitely can get a finish at this spot. It all comes kind of down to game plan. You know, if Beneil takes Oliveira down and just like sits on top of him, we could maybe see a 15-minute decision because
Right.
both guys are slick enough grapplers. But that's if we just say we're not striking this whole fight. If they're striking, I kind of think someone gets hit and hurt.
Okay. Yeah, I'm with you. I would agree with that. I think the later the fight goes, I think obviously, in my opinion, that favors Dariush. But I could definitely see Oliveira getting it done early. That wouldn't surprise anybody, I don't think. So
Agreed.
yeah, this
Agreed.
is an awesome fight. This is the one I think I'm most looking forward to for sure.
For sure. People's main event, the co-main event, is the one we're all hyped on. I wish it was 5 rounds, man. I really do.
Yeah, me too. Me too. That's one they should have done 5 rounds. This should be the next title fight. So I mean, I don't know what. Gotta live with it.
Man, if we get a 15-minute decision, I'm gonna feel cheated. If it gets finished,
Yeah,
I'm good.
yeah.
But if we get a 15-minute decision,
Yeah.
I'll feel absolutely cheated that we don't have 2 more rounds coming.
I'm with you. I'm with you 100%.
All right, main event, everybody. Amanda Nunes taking on Irene Aldana, and this one is super intriguing to me. They're both older. You know, it's not like we've got a young hot prospect in Irene Aldana coming up. She's actually older than Amanda Nunes is, but in fight miles, in title defenses, in overall experience, you know, Amanda Nunes is physically the much older fighter you would think at this point. However, she's also the GOAT. She's also hit a higher skill level than anybody else in the world has. I think if Amanda Nunes has one foot in the grave, if she's thinking she's retiring, if this is probably the end of the rope, we're getting 80% Amanda Nunes. Aldana is live as can be. I think she absolutely can take out a broken and battered and ready to hang it up Amanda Nunes. However, I don't know that that's what we've got coming in here this week. So I really have no idea what to do with this fight, because if Nunes is locked in, we have maybe value on a favorite here because she should be minus 500-600. So
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you, Andrew, I can't make heads or tails of this one. I'm curious what you've seen on your side of the desk, though.
I definitely think that's kind of where we're at too. I mean, obviously, if we knew Nunes was in her prime and hungry old state, that she would be a much bigger favorite. We opened this one at 300. It's sitting 330, and we really do need the favorite here. We do need the champion. So we have been getting a lot of action on Aldana, but it hasn't swung the line at all. So yeah, that's where we sit now. There's still some time to bet, but the book definitely could use Nunes here. And we did take some big bets on the over as well in this one.
Yeah, the over is another thing I've seen thrown around quite a bit. And frankly, I do tend to agree with it. I think Amanda probably has more of a wrestling heavy game plan if she's going to win this fight. We've seen that work against Aldana before. So, I mean, she can always starch anybody and knock them out on the feet, but I don't know if she wants to trade bombs with Aldana.
I know it's going to be interesting because you never know how Nunes is going to go in there. If she wants to go in there and have a slugfest, then, man, I mean, Aldana is live. So, and so is the under. I mean,
yeah,
if they go in there striking like that, then the under is definitely live. So, yeah, that's where we sit. And our total is at 2.5 over 35. So
good deal. All right. Well, thank you very much, Andrew, for the information and the knowledge. Everybody, that was the Sharp Action Report here on Pub Sports Radio. We're hanging out with Andrew from Super Book Sports. Andrew, before we let you go, what's your favorite bet of the card? Just one right off the top. If you're putting your own money down, what do you like best?
I'm not trying to mush you, but I'm going with Barriault. I'm going with Barriault, man. I really think stylistically it's a good matchup. So
okay.
I hate to mush you, but that would be my choice.
Well, do you have a history of mushing, though?
No. But
okay.
I know you've been on it longer than I have, and I don't want to come in last minute and then, if he gets starched in the first round or something, you'll be like, what the heck, dude?
No, it's all good. It all comes down mushes. They've got a serial history, man. Like I'm a mush when it comes to basketball. If a buddy tells me, "Hey, this is the bet," and I tail it, it's losing if it's NBA. So I'm a historic mush in NBA. If you don't have a history of mushing the MMA bets, we're good, man. We can agree. We'll ride in the cart together on this one, and hopefully we're all cashing on MAB.
Yeah, definitely. I had him in his last fight, and it looked like he was get off to a tough start, and then he weathered the storm and he took care of business. And I can see something similar happening here. I would not be surprised.
Completely agree. All right, let's go, Marc-Andre. Get it done for Canada, baby. That is
Yes.
the show, everybody. Thank you so much. Andrew, if there's anything else you want to shout out, social media platforms, other shows, promos, whatever you got, go right ahead, man.
Yeah, this is the only show I'm really active on YouTube, so I don't have anything really going on there. But I'm on Twitter, and I try to tweet out all the fights if you want to follow me there. I'm going to get some of these odds boosts up for this UFC card. We've been doing more of those, and I know the customers have been beating us up a little bit on those lately. So, yeah, if you want some value on some bets, come check those out and sign up with Superbook if you haven't yet.
Good deal. All right. Thank you, everybody, for your time. We'll be back in 4.5 hours, I think, for the Undefeated post weigh-in show. Right after the ceremonial face-offs and weigh-ins, we'll go ahead and get that knocked out for you. And good luck on all your gambling, degenerate action tomorrow at UFC 289. We'll see you soon. Let's roll.